ديفيد بلومبرج، كيف ستستفيد مصر والقطاع الزراعي في مصر ووزارة التموين من المشروعات التي تقومون بها الآن، وما رأيك في مناخ الاستثمار في مصر حاليا؟
Well, Mohammed, that's a great question. And our company has been in and out of Egypt for 3 years now. So we've seen the progression in terms of the investment climate. And our company as a firm and as a holding company is very much enthused about the changes that are going on now. For that reason, we're moving forward with a suite of 3 programs in Egypt, 2 of which are programs in which Blumberg Grain, the food security division, which provides modern, high-efficiency food storage solutions, will be implementing our technology in Egypt in 2 forms. And then the 3rd project is a project in which Blumberg Grain and the holding company will be investing in the agricultural sector and primarily in a manufacturing plant and export hub for our company. Let me get into a little bit more detail in each of those 3 programs because they are massive. In total, actually, we're talking about a $600 million investment program, a program that really contains $350 million in terms of our storage facilities being put up by the government, and then a $250 million investment package that Blumberg, the holding company, would be seeding. The first 2 projects are actually projects for the modernization of food security in Egypt. These are projects that we're working on with the Ministry of Supply and particularly Minister Khaled Hanafi. The minister for 5-6 months now has been working hand in hand with Blumberg Grain to modernize the food storage systems. And they're being modernized really in 2 ways. Number 1 is through the replacement of what are called shonas in Egypt. The shona system is the system that stores locally harvested wheat. Right now, what farmers do is they produce wheat. They produce about 3 million metric tons per year, and then they sell that wheat into the Agricultural Development Bank and the government in general. That wheat is collected in open-air storage pens known as shonas. Unfortunately, these facilities are really nothing more than a piece of dirt where bags of grain are piled up. And for that reason, about 50% of the product in the shonas is lost. Post-harvest losses are higher really than any other agricultural value system in the region. And so Blumberg Grain has been asked to come in and redevelop these shonas, redevelop them by implementing our technology. We've developed what's called a grain aggregation center to be put in place to replace these shonas. And these grain aggregation centers are modern 8,000 metric ton capacity facilities, warehouses that will do not only storage, but also add value to the product. So we're talking about screening, cleaning, drying, grading the product, bagging the product. We're talking about security systems that are networked so that the government can pull up on their iPad at any point in time and see what's going on inside the shona, manage it remotely, understand security, access, egress, things of that nature. Really bringing the agricultural value chain for locally harvested wheat up to 21st century standards. And what that does is A, reduce post-harvest losses, B, it adds value to the grain via grading, via cleaning, via drying, and things of that nature. It adds additional jobs in the agricultural sector. And when you tally all these items up, you're seeing benefits that we estimated about $233 million per year. So a large amount of benefits for the Egyptian people in this project. But on top of it, what the shona replacement project would do is actually set the foundation for the development of a commodities exchange in Egypt. So we're doing a number of things in that particular program. And that's really only the first phase, the first project that I'm talking about. The second item that we're working on with the Minister of Supply is the development of what are called logistics areas. The logistics areas projects are different from the shona replacement project in the sense that instead of looking at wheat in the logistics areas, we're going to be looking at perishable storage as well. So in Egypt right now, unfortunately, the logistics to move products like tomatoes, like onions, like peppers from the field to a marketplace to meet supply with demand are not as developed as they should be. And with the upcoming Suez Canal project, the mega project to increase trade and industry all across the country, there's a need to also increase trade routes internally, domestically within Egypt. And these logistics areas would do just that. They'd be points of aggregation, points of centralization, and points of processing for agricultural products. And like I said, we're talking about tomatoes, but we're also talking about meats and fish. So really developing the value chain for the other half of the equation, not just the dry grains, but the perishable products as well. It'd be leveraging high levels of technology in the logistics areas. Not only are we talking about refrigeration, but we're talking about controlled atmosphere technology, which is a technology that replaces the oxygen in a room with nitrogen. And by doing that, you are able to mitigate all of the factors that cause maturation or ripening of agricultural products. So you can hold on to a mango, for example, for 3 or 4 months. So what that does is A, it reduces the post-harvest losses. B, it enables one to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity between the harvest season and the lean season. It'll help actually stabilize the food supply, pricing, and other benefits along those lines. And that would be the second project in the suite of projects that we're talking about. The third project is the project that Blumberg Grain is investing in 100% on its own. Blumberg Grain is looking to make investments in Egypt to make Egypt a home and hub for our company in the MENA region. And that starts off with developing a manufacturing plant in Egypt to develop the Blumberg Grain technology and systems locally for Egypt and for the greater region. But then it moves on to upstream and downstream investments in agriculture, where we think there's significant opportunity to help improve agricultural value chains. And that includes high yield, high efficiency farming at the top end, and then going into processing, packaging, and other downstream activities. So the company is very, very strong on the outlook in Egypt. And I think to your point about the investment climate, it's primarily because of what we've seen the government been able to do in the past few months. And the drive and the motivation of the folks that we've been working with in the government, particularly Minister Hanafi and the President directly, we've been gaining confidence in the Egyptian economy and are excited about its future.
ديفيد بلومبرج، شكرا لك.